Dear students, welcome back to the new lecture, and in this lecture we'll be discussing about Unit 4, that is Physical Education and Sports for Children with Special Needs. And this one we'll be discussing about meaning of disability and disorder, and we'll be discussing about type of disabilities. Concept of disabilities and disorder. Now when you look at a disability and disorder, these two are it seems like it's similar to one another, but they have different sense of these explanations or meanings or the purpose of this disability and disorder. Now disability and disorder are two separate terms that stand for different type of physical and mental conditions. So you may have physical and mental conditions, but both these physical and mental conditions all the physical and mental conditions will not come under disability or not come under disorder. So both of them has got different type of disability and disorder. We'll be discussing about this one in detail. Now what is disability means? Disability is a reduction of functional ability that leads to a fruitful life. At the same time, definitions given by the World Health Organization, I quote, a disability is a restrictions or lack of ability to perform an activity in a manner or within the range considered normal for human beings. Now what is normal? Anything that you can do, anything you can move, anything you can jump, anything you can run. Anything that you can think freely, that is called as the normal functions. But if this kind of functions has been disturbed or has been affected, then these things will come under the disability. Now, what is the meaning of disorder? It says disorder is the ailment or illness, a minor one that disturbs the health. So in this case also you can see that it's a disturbance. Anything that disturbs the health of individuals will also come under disorder. But when you look further into the meaning of the disorder, it says like this: disorder grow inside a person's. They are small in the beginnings but become serious and grow in disability. Disability means where you have already been, maybe you have fractured your arms, you're not able to move your hands, maybe move your limbs, legs, or you're not able to see. So it's a permanent disability. But this disorder means gradual problems that you see in the initial part of life. Any problem that you see in the beginning of life, that is called as a disorder. So you can see like this, the types of the disorder that you see is, first of all, eating disorder. If you're not able to eat properly, if you're eating too much or eating too less, also will come under the category of this disorder. Now maybe hyperactive, you're very active all the time, that also come under the disorder. And addictions disorder, attention disorder, personality disorder, depression disorder. So these are very common problems that you see in our daily life. But the thing is that this problem, if it continues for a long period of time, it will become as a permanent, and this will be considered as a disability. Types of disability. There are three types of disability. Under that, we'll be discussing one after the. First of all, under the disability, we have the cognitive disability. What is cognitive? Anything that is related to your brain or there's a mental disorder will come under the cognitive disability. Now, it is a neurological disorder that creates problems in storing, processing, and producing information. So when you have this kind of problem, you may have difficult to store information, or maybe process information, or to produce information. So these are the things. If somebody tells you you're not able to process it, you're not able to think what the person is telling you. So this is called a process. Then after that, you're trying to recollect about the past, and after you cannot recollect back. So this is called producing information. Also, you have this kind of problem. This disability will also show symptoms like ability to read, compute, and speak, right? So they have also problems to read, compute, and speak, and write. So these kind of things that you see these kind of problems. These type of individuals can also be called invisible disability because you are not able to assess the conditions just by looking at individuals. Now, when you have disability, you look at somebody, then after, if a person is not able to see, you can clearly tell that the person is disabled. Or if a person is not able to, if a person is without legs, without legs, without hands, or something like this, that you can, by looking at these conditions, you can tell that the person is disability. But if a person has got physically fit, but mentally not working properly, then you cannot just by looking at the person, you cannot tell that the person is called disabled. So that's why we call this one as an invisible disability. And this kind of process like able to store, process, and produce information. This may you may find very common and very beginning, but these also come under a disability. Under the cognitive disability, there are three unusual symptoms. Three symptoms that you see under a cognitive disability. First one is that we have memory disorder. Okay, we are going to discuss about cognitive disability. Under that, this kind of symptoms. See, first of all, like this, an individual have difficult to remember something that he or she heard, said, or saw some time ago. So this kind of problem, this kind of persons will have difficult to remember things that has been just said in the past. Maybe after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, also you'll be talking with somebody, and after that, the person will telling you some stuff. Then after that, the moment pass away, you talk to somebody, then after you complete gone. So in this case, what happens that this will come under the cognitive disability, able to, that is related to memory. You're not able to recollect. That will come under the cognitive disability. Hyperactive. Hyperactive means a person who is active all the time. That's called hyperactive. May not have attention for a long period of time. So you might see some of friends like we cannot see the sitting inside classroom for more than 10 minutes, more than 15 minutes, and after that, once the time lapses, the person is very restless, want to go out, maybe disturb the class. So you find some persons like this who is very hyperactive all the time. So this will also come under the category of this cognitive disability. At the same time, he or she finds it difficult to stay in one place. You also find that these kind of persons are always very restless, very active all the time. So what happens is they're going to stay in one place for a long period of time. As a matter of fact, she usually loses concentration very quickly. Since a person is very restless all the time and very active all the time, so what happens is that you cannot concentrate in one thing. So what happens is that you may lose your concentration. That is a negative side for this hyperactive. Dyslexia. And individuals with cognitive disabilities may exhibit dyslexia. Means difficult. Dyslexia means a person have difficulties in writing, reading, and speaking. So if you see somebody who has got problems in readings, there's writings and speaking, that it's not because the person is nervous or it's because the brain. Sometimes what happens is because the brain is not functioning properly. That's called a cognitive. You have got mental problems. So that's why we call. These dyslexia will also come under the category of this cognitive disability. Next one we have intellectual disability. Intellectual means having conversations with your friend. That's called as the intellectuals. It is a disability which signifies limitations both in intellectual and at the same time adaptive behavior. Now, two things which is really affecting this under this intellectual disabilities. That one is that it's affecting intellectual functionings. How to talk to your friends, that is about reasonings, learnings, problem solving. Like your reasonings, why is there saying? If somebody told you, if a teacher told you that you have a problem in reasoning on why the teacher says, why the teacher, so you need to reason on. Okay. Then at the same time, learnings, problem solving. So if you have this kind of problems, then what happens will come under the intellectual functionings or intellectual disability. At the same time, adaptive behavior means you are not able to adjust your behavior according to situations, according to environment. That will come under the adaptive behavior. So, which covers a range of everyday socials and practical skills. So, these two is used in our daily life. So, these two, if you have problems, two will come under the category of intellectual disability. This disability is related to individuals' thoughts processing, thinking, what to do, what not to do. Am I inside classrooms? Am I supposed to behave properly? Am I just in front of my parents? How are you supposed to speak in front of parents? How am I supposed to speak in front of teacher? So you need to process your thoughts. Wherever you are, you need to use your thoughts and you need to react or you need to adapt your behavior as per to that. But these kind of persons have got problems in thought processing. They are not able to adjust this kind of thoughts. And communication, they also have problems communications, what to say, what not to say. They are not able to, see, they are not thinking properly, so the words just come out, and after that, the words come out, maybe affect somebody also, may disturb the class environment, or maybe affect the environment also. Then learning, problem solving, and judgment. So this is all the problem that you see if a person has got intellectual disability. This intellectual disability begins before the age of 18 years. Let me tell you, this is very important. Most of the teenage life, what they do is that they're always restless, and after that they're always random and casual about their approach. But this random and casual approach will one day lead to an intellectual disability. Means if you're not able to behave properly, if you're not able to say polite words, respect, then after you have not thinking what you're saying, or if you're not able to adapt yourself, your behavior, how you're supposed to see inside classroom, how you're supposed to behave inside, that this will become a permanent. Okay, let me repeat again. It will become a permanent, and it will lead to an intellectual disability, which will lead to a very there's a problematic life for you in the future. Physical disability. Now, when it talk about disability, we always consider another category that's called a physical disability. Like physical disability means your body is not in a proper conditions or proper order, that is will come under physical conditions. The nature of the disability is physical since it relates to the physical functionings of the body parts, including sense organs. So your physical body is not functioning properly. You're not able to move, bend your head, move your hands or bend your hands properly. That will come under the physical functionings. Or it will also relate to the sense organ, how you are sensing, how you are thinking. So will come under the physical disability. This refers to the limitations of a person's physical functionings, mobility, and exterior. Physical functionings, I'm telling you how either you are able to use all your fingers, either you are able to use your hand, either you are able to use your legs, either you are able to use the brain. So this will come under the physical functionings. If you are not able to use this one, then will come under physical disability. Next one, mobility means how effectively you are moving. So right now I'm moving very effectively. So that means what happens in mobility, my mobility is good. That means I will come under the category of the physical disability. But if your movements, you want to move your left hand, but you're not able to think that. When you're moving your left hand, you're not able to move your right hand. What happens that will come under the mobility. That means you're not able to move your body parts effectively. That will come under the physical disability. Next area means skills in performing tasks, especially with hands. So which you have any kind of skills that's with your hands. Maybe snapping. This is also a skill. There is also the dexterity. If you're not able to snap your fingers, then this also will come under dexterity. Maybe moving your hands and writing. After maybe sketching, maybe catching the balls. Okay, maybe throwing the ball. So this will all come under the dexterity. Means able to use skills or able to use your hands. That is called as the dexterity. Or stamina. If you are getting tired very quickly, you're able to perform the work for a long period of time, then this will also come under the category of physical disability. This includes upper and lower limbs loss. Maybe you have lost your upper and lower, this part of the portion you have lost, maybe lower part of the limbs you have lost. So it will also come under the physical disability. Any loss of the body parts will come under the physical disability that you have done. This is not only that, there is 4 manuals, dyslexia, then visual impairments, hearing loss, or disability coordinations with different organs of the body. So visual impairment, you're not able to see also, you're not able to hear properly also. Disability coordinations, your coordination means your right, okay, there's right eye and left eye. You need to coordinate. When you're moving, so you want to look that side, so your right eye is looking this side, but left eye is still focused one position. That is, there's no coordinations. Your right hand you want to clap your hands. When you want to clap what happens is that both your right hand, left hand must come together, then you can clap. But if there's no coordination, your right hand is moving, but left hand is not coming forward, then that's called as the lack of coordination, which will come under the physical disability. Apart from this respiratory disorder and sleep disorder, so if you have respiratory problem also, if you have sleep disorder also, will come under the physical disability. Now, what are the causes of this disability? The first one, why we are facing this kind of problem is because of the causes. If your parents have been affected by these kind of problems, or maybe your forefathers, then what happens is definitely you have the chances, not 100%, but you have the chances of getting this kind of problem. So that's called genetic cause. Then you inherit from your parents. Poverty cause. Poverty, because of like proper malnutrition, proper food, proper diet, what happens is that your body is not functioning properly, your body is not growing properly. So in this case, what happens is you may also have lack of this body functionings, which will also lead to disability. Accident. If you are faced with accidents, and after maybe you lose your limbs, and maybe you lose your legs, and after what happens is in this case also you are not able to function your body effectively or properly. So in this case, what happens is that will also give you a condition that is called as a physical disability. Illness. Now, there are illness like cancer, heart attack, diabetes. Now, why am I mentioning this one like this? Because this kind of illness will affect you for a long period of time, maybe for a lifetime also. If you have just a fever, it's an illness, but the thing is that it's just for a short period of time. You will get better. During the short period of time, you may have some kind of problems, your body function is not properly, no problem about that. But this kind of sickness will affect you for a long period of time, maybe till you die. So that's what happens, that this will also come under the category of disability. And because of this illness, also because of this certain kind of illness, will also give you disability. Lack of education. Now, generally, the laborers or the persons who are uneducated, what happens, they are not able to understand the types of this disease or types of problem that they're facing because they are not educated. So, what happens, they are face certain disease which can be avoided by using scientific methods. So, there are so many scientific methods that you can avoid the disease or avoid the sickness. But since they are not educated, so what happens there? They are not able to use preventive measures to avoid this kind of problem. So what happens there? If they are not able to avoid, then this kind of sickness will be in their body for a long period of time. Like the sickness can be like cancer, heart attack, diabetes, and all things. Then after that, what happened? They will be disabled for lifetimes or forever. Point number 6. That is war. In a war, what happens is explosions take place. When explosions take place, you tear the bones, tear the body parts. When a body part is torn off, then what happens is the people may cause death, dumb, or loss of the limbs. So in this case, what happens is that these kind of persons maybe will be disabled for the rest of their life. So these are some of the points that are highlighted about the causes. And in the next lecture, we'll discuss about the next part of the disability, that is cognitive we'll discuss the disorder. If you have any doubts or if you have any confusions, you can let me know.